In 1943, the Atlantic is a battlefield without pause. Above the surface and below it, the war moves constantly. Beneath the waves operates Rolf Heinrich Hoppmann, commander of the German submarine U-405. Hoppmann is part of Germany's front-line undersea war. He hunts where Allied shipping must pass, striking transports, breaking supply lines, and disappearing before retaliation can close in. His attacks are fast, calculated, and unforgiving. Across the ocean floor, wrecks mark the paths of submarines like his. But the war is changing shape. Now, hunters patrol the surface as well. Cutting through the swells is the American destroyer USS Bory, radar sweeping, sonar listening. On her bridge stands Charles Harris Hutchins, eyes fixed on the horizon. Soon, two commanders shaped by the same ocean will cross paths, and when they do, skill alone may no longer be enough to decide who survives. It's the 1st of November 1943, North Atlantic. On board the American destroyer USS Bory, radar suddenly comes alive. Contact, bearing 170. The signal is clear. Submarine. 5 miles away, the German U-boat U-405 has already seen them. Her captain knows exactly what this means. Prepare torpedo tubes. Fire! A torpedo slices through the waves, racing toward the American ship. On Bory's bridge, the radar operator shouts. The helmsman reacts instantly. The destroyer turns hard, waves crashing over the bow. On the radar screen, the contact is racing closer. The operator tracks it continuously, watching the distance collapse second by second. The approach is steady, unchanged. Men on the bridge hold their breath as the numbers keep falling. There is no impact. The signal slides past the ship's stern. Germans miss. On board the U-boat, Hoppmann doesn't need confirmation. He already knows what comes next. The Americans have his position now. They're turning in, preparing their depth charges. He understands the truth with brutal clarity. This attack may be the end. Aboard the destroyer, Hutchins gives the order. Along the sides, the depth charge projectors fire. The charges fly outward, strike the water, and disappear beneath the surface. The ocean detonates. Explosions erupt directly alongside the submarine. The shockwaves smash into the hull, bending metal and rupturing internal systems. Water begins pouring in. The submarine survives the blasts, but she is crippled. She can no longer stay below. With no other choice left, Hoppmann orders the ascent. The U-boat is forced toward the surface. German sailors burst out onto the deck. They rush through smoke and spray, dropping into their gun seats as the submarine steadies on the surface. Almost instantly, the U-boat opens fire. All guns engage at once. Muzzle flashes rip through the darkness, shells screaming toward the destroyer. For a moment, the Americans hold. Then the destroyer answers. Its guns thunder back, sending shells splashing around the submarine. Columns of water erupt. Some rounds strike the hull, but do little damage. The U-boat keeps firing. The distance is too great. The German gunners fight hard, pouring everything they have into the attack. But even full power isn't enough to reach their enemy effectively. Shells fall short, others burst wide. Then the balance shifts. American fire tightens. One German gun is hit, silenced in an instant. Moments later, another explosion tears through the deck. A second gun goes quiet. The U-boat keeps trying to answer, but the rhythm is breaking. Then the third gun is destroyed. The deck falls silent. Aboard the destroyer, Hutchins raises his binoculars. He studies the crippled submarine drifting in the waves. He lowers them. The order is clear. Cease fire. Prepare to board. On the submarine, Hoppmann understands the reality. There is nothing left to fight with. He gives the final order. Abandon ship. German sailors leap from the deck into the sea. Through the smoke, the American destroyer closes in. American sailors haul survivors from the water. Exhausted hands grip the rails. The Germans are prisoners now. Boarding parties rush onto the submarine. They fight the flames, trying to save what remains. But the damage is too severe. Water floods in faster than it can be stopped. The U-boat lists, slides, and disappears beneath the Atlantic. What happened between Hopman and Hutchins was not an exception. It was part of a much larger fight. Across the Atlantic, convoys followed routes like these, fixed lines carrying fuel, food, and armies from North America to Britain. German U-boats positioned themselves along those lanes, waiting where air cover could not reach. Here, in the open ocean shown on this map, individual encounters became a continuous war. Every route was contested. Every crossing was a gamble. In the early years of the war, submarines held the advantage. Convoy systems were incomplete. Air patrols were limited to the coastlines. Large stretches of ocean lay unprotected. U-boats used this space to strike quickly and disappear. Merchant ships were sunk faster than they could be replaced. For a time, the Atlantic favoured the submarine. That balance began to change as the war expanded. When the United States entered the conflict, the scale of the Atlantic battle transformed. More escorts were built. Radar and sonar became standard. Convoys grew tighter and better protected. Losses did not stop overnight. In fact, they increased. But now, each encounter taught the Allies how to hunt back. The numbers tell the story clearly. As Allied coordination improved, U-boat losses rose sharply. Year after year, more submarines failed to return. What had once been a war of opportunity turned into a war of attrition, and Germany could not afford it. By 1943, the underwater offensive reached its breaking point. The final advantage disappeared when long-range aircraft and escort carriers closed the last gaps. There were no safe routes left, no blind stretches of ocean. U-boats were now hunted continuously. Encounters like the one between Hopman and Hutchins became increasingly one-sided. The Atlantic no longer belonged to the hunter below. The Battle of the Atlantic was not won by a single battle, ship, or commander. It was won by adaptation, by learning faster than the enemy, by controlling distance, and by keeping the sea lanes open. Because as long as the convoys sailed, the war could be fought, and won, elsewhere. This channel isn't about explosions. It's about the moments before the shot. Snipers, tanks, war decisions that changed history. If you want cinematic World War II stories told with precision and realism, follow now and stay with us.